It's a very quiet night right now. So, my partner's asleep, and I just wanted to talk to you all. I'm about to call to wrap myself. My partner wakes up at third shift, and I'm a bit of an early bird. So it's funny how that works. I do, weirdly enough, feel like that gives us enough free time to have to ourselves. I'm not gonna lie, my partner's my best friend, and I never can get enough of them. I always love waking up in the morning to them coming home, and it sucks I only get a few hours with them, but the time that I do get is very precious to me. So you might be wondering what this video is about. In the title, I'm not sure what I'm going to name it, but it's probably going to be something very basic and simple. So, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me, because I'm over 300 subscribers now. I'm sitting at 320, and I'm very thankful for every one of you. The first thing is that I will react or comment to any comments that I can get around to. I encourage you guys to leave a comment, not for the algorithm, but because I would love to hear your stories. And even though my channel is often right now around mental health advocacy, it's not the only thing I want to talk about. You see, I'm so much more than my mental illness, and that's what this video is here to do. I want to tell you just a little bit about myself, and then depending on how this video goes, we can do a day in the life. I saw somebody asking for that in a comment recently, and don't worry, I plan on getting around to that. But let me tell you this. I go by Chelsea. It's not my biological birth name, but it's just who I am, and that's how I identify. I like that name. I picked the name after somebody that I used to play Grand Theft Auto roleplay with. She was very nice and helped me learn a lot about myself. And while I don't talk to her anymore, and I don't really know what she's up to, wherever she is out in that world, I hope she's doing good. And that's okay. Sometimes people grow apart. But I wanted to sort of tell you about what I do in a day. So the first thing is I don't work. I'm not upset about it. I'm not rolling over my grave. I don't work. I'm disabled. I have worked in the past, and every time I've never been able to hold a job for more than, I think the longest I held was Pizza Hut. I held that for about 2 years almost, I think. Maybe 2.5. And I was proud of that. But even that job I wasn't able to hold. I can't tell you exactly what it was. But sometime right around 2017, my anxiety went from bad to worse. And I've been struggling with that pretty much my whole life. In addition to OCD. I have found that medication helps immensely. And remember, this is only information, not medical advice or really any advice of any sort. This is just my story, meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. With that being said, I found 25 milligrams of Zoloft or sertraline to be extremely helpful once a day. It has helped me learn a lot about myself and to turn down the volume of a lot of my thoughts. And I'm very grateful for that. Because when my mind is slowed down, I'm able to breathe and process the world around me. I also take hydroxyzine once a day, sometimes 2 or 3, depending on how much I need it. And that hydroxyzine is very helpful for me. I took some today and I'm definitely really tired now. And I like that. It helps me. It helps me calm down because I'm always wired up and anxious. paroxysine. It helps to slow me down my body. Because a lot of times people don't understand that trauma and anxiety is not just a mental thing. It's also a very physical thing. They're connected, they're intertwined. The mind and the body are not as separate as we once thought. I play League of Legends regularly. If you guys ever want to play Wild Rift, just comment below and share your tag or whatever, and I'll add you. I'm a Yumi main. I don't feel bad for that. I know people give crap for Yumi players. I don't care. I like playing Yumi. I think it's a good character. I think it's a good champion. And I stand by that to the day I die. For me, gaming has always been about having fun. It's never been about doing well or doing bad. It's just about having fun at the end of the day. Gaming has always been, and always will be, a stress reliever for me. And as a stress reliever, it's something that needs to serve its intended purpose. And so if it's not, I take a step back, and then I can return to it later. I've always found that having awareness is one of the most important ways to recover when it comes to most problems. I won't say all, because I don't believe in making absolute statements. It was raining earlier today, so I thought I would add some rain background to this video. Hopefully the soft rain will go well with this as well. I like to think that maybe these videos will hopefully resonate with somebody. I know there's a lot of loud stuff out there in the world. A lot of loud stuff. And so sometimes it takes a nice detour to be able to listen to a video that's a little more laid back, quiet, and relaxed. I want this to be a safe space for everybody. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can come to this channel. You can put a comment down below, and we can talk. We can play games together. No matter how big this channel gets, I don't want it to become a parasocial relationship. So what I want to offer you guys is we can play games together on Discord. I can comment on your videos. You can share me links to like videos or watch something like a short or something. You can send me research articles or papers. I welcome that. Within reasonable boundaries, of course. And if you're ever unsure what that looks like, don't feel afraid to ask. I don't mind answering the question. I just know that for me, knowing that I have somewhere to go to when I'm feeling all alone is super helpful. You're never gonna be told that you're trauma dumping over here. I hate that word trauma dumping personally. I know what it's like to desperately need somebody, anybody to talk to feel like you can't hold it in for another second. I know what that feels like. So if you ever need to talk to somebody, comment down below on the videos, and I'll do my best to respond and talk to you. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. That's not what I'm here for. I highly recommend you seek therapy. And at the same time, if you need somebody to listen to you and to bounce ideas around with, I might be able to provide information that might be helpful. Maybe so, maybe not. If you've ever done OCD treatment, you know that saying very well. So when I get up, usually, one of the first things I do is I brew myself a cup of coffee. I've been drinking this Delight coffee brand a lot recently, but I've also been switching to Coffee Make too. They got this zero sugar hazelnut that I really like, and so I'll mix a little bit of that with 3 packets of stevia. Then I drink my coffee. I at one point was doing soda, and then I switched to black coffee, and then I'm back to zero sugar coffee. I usually drink that in the morning, and as of recently I've been having maybe a Mountain Dew zero sugar in the afternoon, a couple hours later. So I'm getting anywhere from 180 to 220 milligrams of caffeine a day. Nothing for me that's particularly out of the realm of absurdity. I do recommend you watch your caffeine consumption though, because there was a point where I was drinking like 450 a day milligrams. Like I would buy those monsters, the zero sugar ones, and drink them like they were candy. Just down them like it was water. Like there was nothing to it. God, I remember those days. I lived at my mom's house for a while, and that was crappy. I look back on that moment and try to remind myself of all the helpful things that I learned from that experience. It was one of the worst times in my life, but I'm also very fortunate for it. You might think that's weird to say, but it's the truth. Because I remember when I finally moved out, I never felt more at peace in my life. You see, I grew up with a very disordered family, and I just didn't feel safe or understood by any of them. They all knew something was going on, but they always framed it like it was something wrong with me. I was fucked up, broken, or damaged in some way. And they never tried to help me. Instead, they just constantly reminded me at any chance when they were frustrated with me. That really hurt. But there is something I learned from that, by the way. God rest my grandmother's soul. She at least tried her best to help me out. And she was my best friend growing up. And she did a lot for me. I love my grandma for that. When I lived with my mom, it was the most disgusting stuff ever. And this is a trigger warning, by the way. If I don't remember, please remind me to put a trigger warning in the comments. But I digress. Again, this is another trigger warning. You have been warned. My mom had a trailer, and there were like cockroaches galore. I'm not joking when I say that what would look like is you would, how you say, you would open the refrigerator, and there would be like 50 cockroaches waiting for you. And there were bed bugs everywhere. I remember throwing out the mattress, and my mom got so pissed off when I threw the mattress out. And I remember having to live with one of my brothers, and he would always argue with his girlfriend, and they would scream at each other and fight, and somehow they would vent to me, and I'd be stuck in the middle of it. And I remember my mom would smoke all the time. I couldn't go out of the living room without her smoking. Although sometimes, God rest her, why did I say that? God bless her soul. She did stop smoking long enough for me to watch a movie or two with her. But I remember there was this guy, Ed. Real piece of work kid this guy is. He did not care. He would smoke around me. He was trash. And he was just loud, ignorant. And he stole money and owed money to everybody. And all these people were crappy. But there was one thing that they really gave me, which was work ethic. Because in a time of crisis, OCD ask for as many hours as possible so I could get the fuck out of there and go on and do something else. And don't get me wrong, it was fucking tough. It was tough. But I remember I moved out. And I had a bed, that was it. I moved into these student apartments. I begged them to let me move in. I didn't even have enough money, but they let me move in. I remember I was flat fucking broke when I moved. I didn't have any food. I didn't even bring my laptop with me at first. I moved everything out in secret while my mom was gone. And everybody wasn't at the apartment. I packed as much as I could in my book bag. I hopped on my scooter during the winter. And I left crying, sobbing, smiling. Thank God I had to leave that. I was so happy to leave. Oh my God, was I ever. I remember what it was like living there. It was a fucking nightmare. Nobody got me the way I needed to be understood. And if they just tried, maybe it would have been okay. But yeah, I would freak out. I have panic attacks and they just laughed at me. I remember living out in the countryside too, where I was so far out in the boonies that to make it to a decent sized city, it took you almost half an hour. We had a little village next to us, but even getting to the village would be a 10-minute drive. So, sufficient to say this village only had a Dollar General. And a little pizza shop, that's it. Gas station, too. But you get the idea. Everybody in that little village went to one school, K through 12. I remember living there and thinking this is awful. I'm sharing these stories because weirdly, they're bittersweet. I reflect on them and think about how much better I am with my partner now and how much more at peace and comfortable I am being away from that. Life throws a lot at me. It throws a fucking lot. But one thing it's given me is my partner, and I'm very happy about that. My partner is a kind, compassionate person who doesn't be mean to me. I couldn't tell you how many times I'd be chilling in this little room in my mom's trailer. I came and called a room, it's so goddamn tiny, and she would fucking come bursting in to interrupt me, to harass me, to yell at me, to scream. God's honest truth, I do not have any idea how I made it out of that. Not a fucking clue. It was awful. I'm telling you, when you can get out of an environment that's bad for you, it might not seem like treatment for anxiety or OCD at first, but it really is. We talk all the time about getting better when it comes to working on ourselves, but equally the people you have around you will impact your mental health too. Sometimes just as much and sometimes even more. Sometimes it's like this. It's very hard to heal and be at peace in the middle of a war zone. I still have my problems. I'm still recovering from trauma. But you know, it's pretty fucking nice being able to sit here and relax. I never got that privilege when I was at my mom's place, or when I was at my old house, at my grandparents' house, being around my dickhead brothers. I don't know how I survived that, but I did. I'm poor as shit. I am. I'm poor as fuck. I'm poor as a motherfucker. But I'm sure a lot happier. It was way cheaper being around my mom. God damn, it messed me up. So, you might be thinking this all sounds bad. But actually, I share this story to tell you that it can, and it will get better. And sometimes all you need is a change of scenery to make you see that. Sometimes you just need to switch things up a little bit. A little change of scenery can go a far way. Help you see things that you weren't able to see before. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you that. Share a little bit about me, where I came from. Maybe next video. It's getting really late, I thought I'd talk more, but I'm just so freaking tired. Let me know what you think about this video and if you want more like this. I can just talk and tell life stories about growing up. And if you guys ever want to comment, hang out on Discord or something, play video games, or watch movies together, or whatever, I don't care. Just need somebody to listen. I've got your back. Just let me know down in the comments below. Alright, later guys.